Hey everyone, welcome back to Rooster's weekly video update. This week, vaccinations for coronavirus have begun rolling out in the United Kingdom. Margaret Keenan, a UK grandmother who turns 91 next week, has become the first person in the world to be given the Pfizer COVID-19 jab as part of a mass vaccination program rolling out through the NHS. Cyprus is set to waive COVID testing requirements for visitors who've been vaccinated against the virus, according to a government plan that will come into effect in March 2021. This would make it the first destination to specify that vaccinated travellers will not need to meet other COVID-related entry rules, such as a negative test result or quarantine. And Switzerland continues to come under pressure to close its ski resorts over the festive season in order to avoid unfair competition. The European Union has said it is hoping to reach a deal with the country in order to create a level playing field for Alpine neighbours France, Italy, Germany, and Austria, who have all been forced to close their slopes for much of the holiday season. More than half of Britons think that only people who have been vaccinated against COVID-19 should be able to board a plane when a vaccine is freely available, according to new research by Sky News. And Spain's latest tourist scheme hopes to welcome Brits back by next March with no travel restrictions or quarantines. The parent company to Manchester, Stansted and East Midlands airports has seen revenues drop 81% as it releases its financial results for the 6 months to September 30. A survey of more than 2,000 adults commissioned by Skyscanner has revealed that half found it difficult to understand the current travel options open to them, with 77% of these people saying they were put off from travelling by this confusion. Brits are more willing to travel overseas than the rest of Europe, according to data by firm Adara, as vaccines prompt a bookings spike. And IATA has recommended that governments should buy airline tickets and give them away to stimulate the return of travel. Giveaways could be among a range of incentives, citing the example of the Hong Kong Airport Authority, which bought 500,000 seats for a lucky draw for locals and international passengers. The travel industry is unlikely to hit the ground running at the launch of the test to release scheme for arrivals in England from December 15. The government delay in publishing a list of approved test providers means some preparations are on hold and the costs still remain unclear. Over in social, the FTC, so the Federal Trade Commission of the United States, has declared that Facebook actually engaged in anti-competitive behavior and is a monopoly, and they are looking now to move forward with a lawsuit that would demerge Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger. Kind of reminiscent of the Standard Oil, US Steel sort of situations about 100 years ago, so stay tuned. Speaking of government intervention, after much ado about nothing, TikTok remains available in the United States after it passed the latest date from which it must have been sold. According to the New York Times, the deadline hasn't been extended again, but the White House just doesn't care anymore. In Facebook's ever-expanding e-commerce play, WhatsApp has added a carts feature. So the carts mean that users in WhatsApp can now access a shopfront for online businesses and then send a full cart as a messenger to the merchants to be fulfilled. Just another reminder to invest in e-commerce in 2021 if you haven't already. After reporting daily active users for the first time last week, Reddit remains pretty open. They're now publishing their annual year in review. So you can click through the link in the article if you're keen to see more about top trends on the platform, some reflections on new communities like the coronavirus subreddit, and even a UK-specific year in review for the first time. On the back of Snapchat's Creator Fund investment announcement last week, Snap Inc. is also fueling $3.5 million into an augmented reality or AR creator fund. Snapchat's been pretty proactive with AR sort of basically since they were invented. So it's not really a surprise to see them double down. We do actually have a link in the article to their spectacles if you haven't seen those yet. Very kind of AR focused, actual glasses that remain available if you remember Google Glass. Gaming's had a killer year this year, as you can imagine. 5 of the top 10 channels on YouTube in 2020 were gaming channels. And this week, YouTube revealed that 100 billion hours were spent watching videos on YouTube gaming. That's not even time spent playing games. It's just time spent watching people play games. Regular sport teams and esport teams remain sort of at the forefront of as interactive and engaging as social can be. So if you are curious on kind of what a lot of best practice in sort of a really fast-paced environment looks like, do check out your favorite teams or some of the most prominent teams in the world and sort of see what they're up to. To boost engagement and drive the platform's famous FOMO feeling, Instagram is testing adding countdown stories to timers. So they'll just basically tell you how much time is left on the story before it expires, just underneath a little circle at the top of your feed. Over in Adland, Twitter's opening up frequency capping as an option for all ad types so that advertisers on Twitter can control how many times users see your ads in a given period to help you avoid ad fatigue. And meanwhile, Facebook and YouTube are both cracking down on what is and isn't acceptable on their platforms. Facebook is particularly targeting coronavirus vaccine misinformation, and YouTube is aiming at hate speech so that they can open the platform up properly as the inclusive, inviting space that they would like the world's largest video platform to be. That's all from us this week. Don't forget you can stay tuned next week and you can read the rest of the article at the link. Cheers.